How y'all doing on this beautiful summer day? It is, right? Let's get started, man. How you doing?
Jordan, we talked a lot about conditioning, and Baker said you're going to play a lot. So you've had a couple of humid days. You're used to that, obviously, but where you grew up and where you played before. But how do you feel physically?
Physically, I mean, it's coming along. It's always a work in progress. We try to stay on the D line. We try to stay on the defense that, we got to be the best condition. The more we can play, and that's all across the board, not just for me, but the more we can play, the more we're on the field, is the better for our chances of success. And we just want to make sure that we can maximize our success because we feel in our hearts that we got to have the best chance. We got to be the most elite defense, and that's just the mindset that we carry.
After OTAs, you said your goal is to be in the best shape of your life. I guess, how do you feel like you did in that pursuit of that goal?
Great. I mean, obviously, I'm not where, I'm better than where I came in or where I left. And, that was my goal coming in. Football shape is a lot different, obviously. You can do all the running you want to, but when you're going against our O-line, it's kind of tough. But, it's coming along, and that's the thing that we're trying to just do as a defense. I don't know if y'all seen, but you know how we finished in the end zone after the last series. And, that's just little stuff that adds up. You just put a little sweat in the bucket, and eventually the bucket's going to get full. So the more we can do, the more condition we could be is just straight running. And then, we try to condition during practice so that we have to do is just straight line running after. But, just football shape. Everything we do, we're trying to get in football shape. And, we're not going to be track sprinters, but, if we can be out there and we can condition while they're during the play and condition while, we're just getting our work in, then it should work out fine.
Coach, what kind of difference are you seeing, like both with you and Jalen Carter, like so far through the first 2 days of training camp? Just in
technique, and just the understanding of how we're playing, how the scheme is going to work out. We're just really excited. Just all across the board for the D line, like Milton, all those guys, man. We're just excited to play in this scheme, moving a lot more. We have a lot more opportunities to make plays, and that's not to knock any credit of the past coordinators, but it's just it's just a fresh breath of fresh air for the defensive line, and it just kind of feels familiar for us as us speaking in me and Jalen, because that's the type of scheme that we played at Georgia, and it just feels very familiar, and we like it, and we just try and do the best we can to maximize our opportunities inside the defense, inside the scheme.
Maybe technical, but conditioning, maybe technical. Whenever you're the improvement in conditioning, how does that affect your consistent bend from play to play?
Yeah, I mean, when you're not tired, you can bend a little bit more. When you get tired, that's when you start to slack off in your technique and stuff like that. Your technique gets a little worse, and we just want to make sure that we're conditioning enough so that we can play the same way. You look at any sport, golfers, baseball pitchers. We had an analogy of baseball pitchers, how when they throwing up their changeup or they throwing up their sliders, they have the same. If he hitch before you threw a curveball, it's going to look different, and it's going to get the opportunity for the offense to do things and read how we play. But the more conditioned we can be, the more effective we can be as a defensive line.
What was your summer like with that? What was your summer like? Did you kind of settle into a typical workout program?
Yeah, it was a typical routine. I went back to Georgia. Had the same thing I did in my pre-draft, but it's just conditioning, D-line work, Tuesdays, Thursdays, conditioning pretty much Monday through Friday, lift. But it was also making sure that you take time to stretch, take time to get in the tub, not do things, and eating right. I mean, that's the biggest thing for me, is just eating right. But at the end of the day, I just want to make sure that I came in better than I left OTAs. And then, once we get here and we go in and we get in the flow of things, it's going to take care of itself with this running that we're doing.
He wants to put more on your plate this year, more reps.
Yeah. And that's not even just for me. That's just as a defense. I think if Vic had his way, we'd be out there for 10-plus plays. But, I think Sirianni has something to say about that, just limiting us to 6 or 7 and stuff like that. But, I think he knows what type of group that he has. He has the utmost confidence in us, and he wants us to be out there and make plays. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all a defensive coordinator really wants us to do, is just to be the best defense on the field. It's going to come in effect when the season starts rolling around, especially in the end of the season. We don't want to start out hot like we did and then drop off towards the end of the season. We want to make sure that we have the ability to sustain all through the season and into the postseason.
What is Sirianni's presence since he's taken a step back from the offense? What is Sirianni's presence?
I mean, he's still around. It's not like he's an offensive-minded coach, but he's still around defense. You can see him during Andy standing around, making sure that we getting our work in. And just even when we go in our meetings, he's in our meetings. He's in a defensive meeting sometimes, walking in, just checking on us. I mean, obviously his mind is more geared to offense, so he's going to be in the offensive meeting more. But he definitely has an interest in defense, and he knows that defense helps win games.
I know you haven't been in pads yet, but what are your impressions of Becton going against Becton, being both in OTAs and these first 2 days?
I mean, we all know that Becton's a great player. I had the utmost respect for him because he's helping me get better. He's been in the league a long time, helping me with his experience, and he's a strong guy. I go against him, I'm a strong guy, he's a strong guy, Landon's a strong guy. So everybody that I go against, whether it's Cam, everybody on that O-line, I say is a strong person. So, we go on that mentality, iron sharpen iron. So we know we're going to get their best work and we're going to give them our best work. So definitely in the trenches, it's a warfare. But at the end of the day, we're just feeding off each other and helping us get each other better.
That transition to guard, you could see him. He's never really played guard, but you could see him making that transition.
Yeah, I mean, when you got a coach like Stout, man, I'm sure you could take you and make you a guard or a tackle or whatever. But I mean, Stout's a great coach, and I'm sure that if he's there, he's running with the ones now. But if he's there, I'm sure that he has the utmost confidence in Mekhi, and I'm going against him. I'm getting his best work, so I'm just excited to go against them guys every day.
Jordan, speaking of technique, Devin White had mentioned that during film review yesterday, Vic was pointing out how well you were doing because you were bending your knees a lot.
Yeah.
What prevents you sometimes from being consistent in doing that, and why is that so important to you being effective?
Like I said, conditioning. Being more conditioned. The more conditioned I am, the more effective I am, and the more effective I can be, and the more technique I can play with. And not saying that every rep is perfect, but it's better. And that's one thing that I try to do is just when I go inside and I look at film every day, I want to make sure that I'm getting better from the last practice. I'm sure day 2 is better than day 1. I'm hoping that day 3 will be better than day 2. And if we just go on with that mindset, just get better every day. I know it's cliche, but the little things add up, and that's just what I'm trying to work on. If it's something I need to work on, I'm going to just assess it. I'm going to watch film. I got Pat back there. He helps me watch film when it's like, when we have a little bit of time afterwards. But, that little stuff adds up. Just a little, like, what can I do to alleviate my weaknesses and make my weaknesses my strengths?
It sounds simple when we ask about it, but it sounds simple when we ask about it. But what is the degree of difficulty for a 6'6", 350-pound defensive tackle to have good bend?
I mean, you naturally just stand up all day. Walking around 6'6". I mean, I'm the highest in the room, but you don't want to play high. You don't want to play high because you're going to get rooted out, and especially with a, not saying he's short, but a short center like Cam, like Kelsey. Those guys are a little bit shorter. Their center of gravity is a little bit lower, and you want to make sure you play on their level because once they get under you, it's over with. And the thing I could do is just make myself better. I sense that, and that's one thing that I've been working on. And I think not trying to make the play all the time. Making sure that I eliminate the man in front of me. I think that's a better mindset that I go into with this year. Is just making sure that I destroy the block, and then when I destroy the block, 9 times out of 10, the ball's either going to appear or it's going to be outside, bounced out. But, when you're looking around, you're trying to make the play, and you get lifted like this, it's over with. But it's just little stuff like that. It's just little mindset tweaks and little changes in your game. And, that's one time that, in the OTAs, that's the time that you work on it. And then now during camp, that's the time that you really put it into effect because you don't go against the offensive line every day in OTAs. But now is the time to really show it, and now's the time to practice what you preach.
Jordan, on a personal level, what has it been like dealing with Vic Fangio? It seems like he's got a little bit of that throwback, old school mentality. Do you enjoy that, and what's it been like personally?
Yeah, I mean, it's all business. That's what I'm used to. Kirby Smart, even my high school coach, I said it before, they're all business. And it's all football. Like, you're not going to go to Vic and, ask him how his day was, how his family is and stuff like that. He's worried about football. He's worried about winning games. That's what I'm worried about. We're in the business of winning games. And any coach that's down with that is good with me. So, I'm not going to be, I got my family for that to be more personable. And, I got the player development team to be more personal with. But at the end of the day, Vic is going to put us in the best position to win games. And at the end of the day, our job is to make sure that we do the techniques and the stuff and work within the scheme to win those games. And then after that, he could be the happiest guy alive. Like, all we care about is winning. The winning the W is the most important stat on that sheet, and so that's what we're just working towards.
Thanks, Jordan. Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate you.